My pregnant girlfriend's best friend moved back to our hometown after we announced our pregnancy to her, but ever since then she has been wreaking havoc on our lives and brainwashing my girlfriend into believing that I am cheating on her, so I gave her an ultimatum to either get counseling or move out. My GF, Jen, and I have been together for 4 years. Back in April, 2 great things happened. We found out Jen is pregnant and I closed on a house for us to move into. Our family and friends know about the pregnancy, including Jen's best childhood friend, Amanda. I will admit, I never liked the dynamic between Ananda and Jen, but it did not really affect our relationship since Amanda lived across the country. After finding out about the pregnancy, Amanda decided to move back home. We live in Jen and Amanda's hometown. Amanda has been back since late May and all hell has broke loose. Jen has always felt a little self-conscious in our relationship. I work construction and do personal training. She feels intimidated by small girls, but I have no idea why. She is a sexy as fudge woman with amazing curves. Amanda has done nothing but played into Jen's insecurities and anxieties since being back. Jen and I have never been the tracking location couple or looking through phones couple. We always considered that a red flag in a relationship. Amanda has convinced Jen that she needs to start doing that. So, she has been looking through my phone on a regular and finding nothing. I have communicated my hurt and frustration and that I think she needs to distance herself from Amanda. She kept rebuffing my concerns. About 2 weeks ago, Jen again asked to look through my phone. I told her in no uncertain terms that this will be the last time she looks through my phone. If she again sees nothing suspicious, then she needs to agree to go to counseling and distance herself from Amanda. She agreed, looked through my phone, and found nothing suspicious. But, she soon reneged on her promise to do counseling and distancing herself from Amanda. I decided to move out. We are currently on a month-to-month lease in an apartment until renovations get done on the house I bought. I am staying with a friend until the house is ready and then I will move in alone. Jen has asked me to reconsider. I refuse. She will likely need to move in with her mother, which is not ideal given the limited space, which I feel terrible about for my child. Am I a jerk? Edit. 1. I am fully aware that Jen has raging hormones. Trust me, I was dealing with a lot more than just her insistence on searching my phone constantly. 2. I have been doing individual counseling for 6 years. I want to do couples counseling and Jen to do individual counseling. 3. I left because Jen lied to me. Commenter 1. So as soon as the going got tough, you decided to bail on your pregnant partner because she feels insecure about her changing body and is acting in a way that is consistent with being pregnant, hormonal, and easily threatened by you working in close proximity with non-pregnant women? Can't wait to see how you respond to a toddler. Op. I have 2 drug addict parents and I was the eldest of 4. I was effectively raising toddlers when I was in elementary school. I left because she lied to me. Jen spent about 30 minutes searching through my phone 3 to 4 days a week for a month. I left because she promised if I let her do it again, we would do counseling and start distancing herself from Amanda. She searched and refused unapologetically to do what she agreed to. Redditor 6. How old are you and the Jen and friend? Op. Me, 29, Jen 26, Amanda, 26? Commenter 2. Uda, is this post even for real? You have a child on the way, your GF hormones, anxiety and insecurities are raging and you've given her an ultimatum then disappeared off leaving her alone and potentially having to move in with her mom. You say you've closed on a house, not a family home, you've closed on a house that you may or may not let her live in depending on her behavior. I just feel sorry for this child tbh. Redditor 2 downvoted. Cannot believe this comment is so far down. Op is the TA for abandoning his pregnant GF and child. Statistically men cheat more while women are pregnant, and on top of that pregnancy hormones take over emotions, rational thought, physical changes, it's a trip, counseling is a good idea, medication might be, too. Would also not hurt to have a mature supportive partner, instead of a tantrum throwing, moves out the house, abandoning jerk. Does Op not realize there will be an actual baby, now, so he has to stop acting like one? What happens when single dad Op has to deal with projectile poop from an infant? Will he leave the country? Every time I read posts like this, I thank whatever gods exist that I ended up with a partner that is so ride or die for me and our kid. There would literally be no problem he wouldn't insist we work through to get to a solution. Abandoning your pregnant girlfriend and child is some weakest nonsense. Be a grown-up, work through difficulties. Hate to break it to Op, but life is not gonna get easier when you add a baby to your life, but it's better with a partner. Oop. Statistically men cheat more while women are pregnant, and on top of that pregnancy hormones take over emotions, rational thought, physical changes, it's a trip, counseling is a good idea, medication might be, too. This would be like me accusing Jen of racism based on nothing more than the fact that I am black and she is white. And she refuses counseling, couples and individual. Would also not hurt to have a mature supportive partner, instead of a tantrum throwing, moves out the house, abandoning jerk. Have no idea where you got that I threw a tantrum. I told her I was moving out and calmly moved out. She followed me crying, at one point grabbed my arm and yelling in my ear that I am not moving, and ended the night by trying to block the doorway to the apartment to prevent me from driving off. Does Op not realize there will be an actual baby, now, so he has to stop acting like one? What happens when single dad Op has to deal with projectile poop from an infant? Will he leave the country? What happens is I deal with it. I am the oldest of 4 and had 2 drug addict parents. Of the 2 of us, I have far more experience taking care of babies. Hate to break it to Op, but life is not gonna get easier when you add a baby to your life, but it's better with a partner. I wish I felt like I had a partner right now. I do not. I was getting yelled at, screamed at, accused of cheating every which way because I do not want to have intimacy with this person who is treating like trash, etc. In fact, our conversations since I moved out have drastically improved in quality. Update 1. Jan and I met up earlier this week to discuss our relationship after she had sent some text messages. She apologized for how she behaved towards me. She particularly apologized for how she behaved when I moved out of the apartment. She said she will definitively stop searching my phone if I moved back in. She also said she was ready to get engaged. She historically had been the holdup in us getting engaged or married. I asked why she had started searching my phone in the first place. She said, she really did not know. Jen said she has seen me get hit on before by girls in my personal training work and shut the women down, even before we were dating. She trusted that I would do that generally, but she is feeling self-conscious about her body and thinks maybe I would be tempted to not do that now. Apparently Amanda's ex was a guy who got hit on by girls and would shut them down in front of her but was secretly cheating with some of them. But, I said, if you saw me rejecting these women before we were even dating, why would that change now? Why would I risk my license? She said she did not have an answer. I told her, that is why she needs counseling, to explore that. I asked if in the 6 or so weeks of searching my phone at least every other day, if she saw anything from me to any other woman that even hinted at romantic interest. She said no at first, then laughed and commented that I did send a heart emoji to a group chat with Jen to a picture of her mom in a dress she just bought. But she admitted she has no suspicion whatsoever that I am trying to get with her mom. She said she is not ready for counseling and is not ready to give up on Amanda, but she is going to move in with her mom in the next few weeks. I let her know that I cannot move back in with her until at least counseling is being started. She understood. I am going to let the landlord know that we are terminating the lease at the end of September. She is sad we are not living together, but understood where I am coming from. She gave me a hug and a kiss and that was the end of the conversation. She later sent me a text asking if I was okay with her still watching my videos. I had made some videos some months back for her viewing pleasure. I said sure. Her mom later texted and told me they had a long heart-to-heart about Jan and I's relationship. Commenter: if you're not getting back together and she has intimate videos of you, you should tell her in writing to delete them, not allow her to keep them and keep watching them. Nothing good will come of that. Revenge videos are a crime, but it's hard to get that kind of thing taken down, especially if it's been disseminated across multiple platforms and shared by different people. Op. I am completely unbothered by the fact that she has these videos. When I made the videos, I knew full well that they could later end up on the internet. I was assuming that risk. If she wants to keep using them, I have no problem with that. Update 2. 2 months later. I have been asked by a number of people to give an update on the situation. There was not much to report until recently. Shortly after my last update, Jen had moved in with her mom and I had moved into the house. Things had been going well, we were communicating, I was going with her to all the appointments, and we were generally getting along. But, we were not living together because Jen still refused my request for counseling and distancing herself from Amanda. Well, about 3-ish weeks ago was my 30th birthday. I have never really celebrated my birthday. It was midweek and I just went to work, had a couple of personal training sessions at the gym, and went home. I was in the shower and someone was ringing the doorbell. I went and answered it, and it was Jen. She had some groceries with her and insisted on making me dinner. I have been very particular about enforcing boundaries with her because, in a lot of ways, she is behaving like we are still together like before I moved out. She could sense my hesitation and stated that she would just be making me dinner, as a friend. So, I agreed. I turned on a movie while we cooked together. After dinner was done, we sat in front of the TV, ate, and finished the movie. We talked for a little bit after the movie was over. She then said she needed to use the bathroom. I assumed she would leave afterwards. I began cleaning the kitchen and she came up behind me and began grabbing my dick. I turned around and she was in a lingerie set she knows I love. I asked her what she was doing and she said, "What does it look like?" She grabbed me again, but I told her to stop. She said, "You look like you like it." I told her again to stop. I pulled her hands off of me and told her to leave. She looked dejected and like she was about to cry, but left without saying anything. A couple of days later, I called her to talk about it, but she did not answer. I called her a day later after that call because that was the day of the next prenatal visit. She sent back a text and told me not to come. The next week I called again about the prenatal appointment, but she told me not to come again. On Sunday of this week, she finally called me back. She asked who I was cheating with. I told her I was not cheating. She asked who I was sleeping with, and I told her no one. She demanded to see my phone again, and I told her I would not let her see it. She yelled that I was obviously sleeping with someone and lying to her. I told her I was not, and if you do not trust me, we probably just need to learn how to co-parent from here on out. She agreed. So, we are officially done. Commenter. She thoroughly self-sabotaged the whole relationship. Sad, but her insecurities are out of control. I would reach out to her family and express your concerns for her mental health, just so someone around her can be aware of your concerns, especially after the baby is born. PPD can be intense. Op. Her mom is fully aware of everything and she is living with her mom now.